Hello, everyone. Tiffany Higgins here, and we are live in the Have Your Cake and Eat It Too Facebook group. And I go live every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Central Time. So if you have any questions on starting and growing a online bookkeeping business, you can come here and get your questions answered. And you can also learn about our programs too, where we help you make six and put you on the path to even make seven figures, even if you have no prior experience in bookkeeping or accounting. We can help you reach that goal. So we've got students that are just getting started, and we've got students that have been in our program for 3 years now and are making upwards of $300,000 per year and more. So really, really exciting. You can add $100,000 minimum to your business every year or more, depending on how much time you want to spend on it, or you can keep it small and make it your little cash cow for your vacation fund. Bookkeeping business is a really flexible thing that you guys can all do. And we have it set up to teach you from ground zero. So when we get a potential student, we assume that that student has no prior experience in bookkeeping or accounting, no certifications in the field either, and also that they have no experience running a business before. So you have no idea how to quote, how to set things up, how to do sales, how to do marketing. So we really teach you, all of those things in addition to learning the basic bookkeeping skills. So hey, Nikki, thank you for hopping in and saying hello. I appreciate that. If you guys are watching, really love to answer your specific questions today. So if you can tell me where you're at in the process of starting your business, are you here? Is this the first thing you've done and you're just kind of getting your feet wet, learning about this opportunity, or have you started your business in some fashion? So let me know how that is, Nikki, and anybody else watching, please let me know. And I'd love to, help you make some progress and take the next steps. So if you're brand new here and you haven't read my ebook, that's a really great place to start. A lot of people find that really helps them get clarity on, whether or not that they want to do this. So I'm going to drop the link to our website in here. And this is where you can go to get a copy of our ebook and kind of read about the journey. I'll share my screen here real quick. You can kind of read about this journey and see what it would be like for you and your family to be able to start a bookkeeping business, have a bookkeeping business from home, and all that kind of stuff. So let's see, I'm going to hide my bookmarks bar because I feel like it's distracting. All right. So when you go here, you can click that. The copy of our ebook is only $5.90 if you buy it right here. And then you can read about what the whole journey would look like and see if it's the right fit for you. The other thing I want to show on our website is our calculator. It's down here at the bottom, which is pretty cool. I'm going to scroll past all the testimonials here and then go down to our calculator here. So I posted a video the other day showing you exactly what you can make if you start your bookkeeping business. And a really cool thing is to learn about this calculator. So, let's say that you want to make I don't know, maybe like $4,000 per month so you can quit your corporate job. You only need about 8 clients to be able to reach that $4,000 per month of reoccurring revenue. And that'll give or take a little bit depending on the size of your clients, but there are 31.5 million businesses in existence in the US alone. I have a really cool stat that I'll share with you guys on that in a minute. And out of that 31.5 million businesses, about 30.5 million of those businesses are small businesses that have 12 employees or less. Now, if you don't know, those are our ideal clients. Any business that is in that range, they're the perfect type of clients to get to be able to do their bookkeeping work. So out of 30 plus million businesses, you will only need 8 clients to make $4,000 a month, which is really awesome. For the majority of the people that we talk to on our discovery calls, they're making anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 per month from their job. So, they'd only need to get 8 clients to be able to replace that job and replace that income and quit that job. Now, time frame turnaround to do it. If you guys get started right now, you would likely be able to quit your job by Christmas or by the end of the year, have enough money coming in to not only cover your bills, but to also fund Christmas. So if any of you are interested in getting started and you want to be able to use your bookkeeping money to bring in some extra spending money for Christmas and then to be able to cover all your bills so that you can leave that job, it's highly likely that you could be in a position to do that by the end of the year, which is super, super exciting. And then, of course, we'll roll into tax season right after that, and clients will start coming out of the woodwork. So it's really exciting time for that. Now, let's talk about the time commitment when you have these 8 clients and you're making $4,000 a month. How much time is it going to take you to do the work? So we have this low and high range. The high range is really only applicable to like the first month or so when you first get the client and you're developing systems and getting to know their spending habits and getting into a routine. But after the first month, once you've had these clients, it's only going to take you 8 hours per week to be able to do the work for all 8 clients, So if you're working full-time to make $4,000 per month, you're working 8 hours a day. But when you switch over to your bookkeeping business, you're going to make that much money working 8 hours per week, not per day. So that's really exciting. Now, the extra time that you put in outside of those 8 hours to focus on marketing and growing your business, you can put out however much time you want into it. But what I always tell people is, it may be hard in the beginning when you're juggling that corporate job and trying to get up here to replace this income. But as long as you have 1 to 2 hours a day that you can squeeze in to be able to market your business and develop it and grow it, then you're going to get these clients. And then at that point, you're going to have 32 hours per week back when you quit your corporate job, that you'll be able to just have that time back. And you can either focus it on marketing or you can focus it on spending time with your family. So whatever it is, it's important to you that you want to do. So that's what I love about this opportunity, is that it helps moms really be able to live the life that they want and to be able to, design their own life, create it however you want, craft your own ideal lifestyle. So really awesome. If you guys want to chat with us so we can go over this particular chart with you in detail, when you book a free discovery call with us, we will go over exactly what is going on with your situation and show you what's possible if you started a bookkeeping business yourself personally. So I'm going to drop that link in here for you guys so you know where to go to book a free call with us. We had so many calls booked over the last couple of weeks that we were so booked up, but now we've got more calls opened. I brought some more team members on, and now we are open for a few more appointments in this next coming week. So we were booked out for like 3 weeks, but there's some spots if you guys want to get in there. Don says, I started your program back in 2019 and 20. I know, I remember you, Don, looking to grow. Awesome. Don, if you'd like to book a call with us, we can definitely talk to you about the next steps. So if you're ready to scale, you're looking to grow, also send me a private message too if you want to talk about joining my mastermind program where you can kind of work exclusively with me. Happy to talk with you about that. Our top level students are actually getting ready to go to Key West in a couple of weeks, and we're going to have a powwow there and a little retreat, which is going to be awesome. So if anybody does want to join that program and you have some availability and want to come to the Keys, we have some open spots too. So Don, let me know, and yeah, send me a message. Hi, Lynn, how's it going? Hey, Carla, you're looking to get started. Awesome. This is great. So book a strategy call with us, book a free session with us so we can kind of give you an idea of, what it's going to look like for you, Carla, when you get started, what the path is, how we can support you. And we can kind of walk you through all of your options there. So we'd love to chat with you. I've had some really, really awesome calls with some people over the last few weeks. I jumped in and started taking some of these calls myself, and it's been really fun to talk to a lot of people. And it just like totally warms my heart knowing what their goals are and how achievable they are. And I know for me, and probably for a lot of you guys, when I was in this situation, I was working my corporate job, I had all these dreams. I had all these things like I wanted to travel. I wanted to go on vacation across the country. I wanted to work with my husband. I didn't want us to be separated 12 hours every single day, 5 days a week. And then I studied for my CPA exam on the weekend. So I felt like we never saw each other. And I had all these dreams of like wanting us to like spend a lot of time together and be together and experience life. And it always felt like, yeah, one day I'll get that. One day I'll get that. But it really felt like I never knew how that would ever be possible. And I used to think that I would have to like work really, really, really hard at my corporate job and eventually like climb up the corporate ladder and get promotions. And then maybe I'll have enough money to do something like that on occasion if I build up enough vacation time. And all that stuff is just absolutely absurd. So, it was kind of nice to be able to like finally have that kind of freedom. And I'm really excited for a lot of the ladies that I've been talking to lately and how transformative that it's going to be for their lives, and let them have the freedom and flexibility that they wanted as far as like being able to do things, being able to have that extra time to spend with their family, but then also having extra money coming in to be able to fund some of those things. Because it's really hard to save when you have, a corporate job and you're on a very tight budget. It's super hard to save. So Carlos says this might be a silly question. There are no silly questions at all. We love any type of question, so don't ever feel silly about asking anything. CPA certification required, recommended, or will I get more business? That's actually a really great question. I love talking about this. And I actually had a call with a lady this weekend who actually enrolled in our Bookkeeper Academy, and she was considering doing it as well. So let me tell you about the CPA certification. First of all, I want to start off with saying I am a CPA, obviously, and I am very, very proud of all of my time commitment and my dedication to getting that CPA exam. It is very, very hard. You have to go back to school for an extra year or so. I think I had to drag it out over a couple of years because of my kids and my full-time job, but you have to go back to school. You have to get a whole bunch of extra credits in accounting. Then you have to work for a year under a CPA or at a CPA firm, a whole 12 months. And then in addition to that, you have to study for and pass 4 different CPA exams, and you have to pass them all within an 18-month period. So it typically takes about 4 months, 3 to 4 months to study and prepare for one of the exams. And then once you pass it, then you got to hurry up and move on to the next one. There isn't even any downtime. You have to hurry up and start studying for the next one. And then the issue is if you do fail any of them, you have to restudy for that one and then retake it. And you have to pass all 4 within this like very short window of time. And I literally spent every single weekend studying for the CPA exam. And it was great. Like I passed all of the exams on the first try. I got really great scores on everything. But I dedicated a ton of my life to it. And I had this thought that if I was a CPA, things would come easy for me. Well, here's 2 realizations that I had after becoming a CPA. Number one, it wasn't appreciated by my boss. So the fact that I passed my CPA exam didn't really mean a whole lot to him. I still had to put in years and years and years of experience before I was worth anything to their firm. So when I passed my CPA exam, I didn't even really get that good of a raise. It was really, really small. Didn't even cover my childcare costs that I had because I had my new baby like right after I passed the CPA exam. So I was really disappointed by that. So having your CPA license in a corporate setting isn't always what it's cracked up to be. And oftentimes you get dumped on a lot more, and there's a lot more pressure and a lot more hours that you need to work because of it. So even if you do make a little bit more money, you typically don't get any additional time freedom when you're a CPA in a corporate environment. It's usually the opposite. Now, when it came to starting my business, when I first started it out, I was offering to do some taxes for people, and having that CPA license, all of the hard clients looked for CPAs, all of the hard ones, the confusing ones, the ones that required a ton of research, a ton of complicated, tax strategies, things like that. So honestly, I really didn't like having my CPA title or leading with that per se, because it ended up getting me more difficult clients. So for me, I always suggest, and I actually talked someone out of it this weekend, it's not worth going back to school and wasting all of that time. Like, for example, I mean, I couldn't even potentially add it up. I probably spent hundreds and hundreds of hours studying for my CPA exam. It only takes about 5 to 10 hours a week for you to be able to put into your business and marketing to actually grow to 6 figures within the first 12 months or less. So if you have 100 hours that you're going to save and you're going to put that into marketing instead of putting it into becoming a CPA, you are going to be totally rich. You're going to make so much more money. So that's my thoughts on it. I still think having a CPA license is cool. I mean, it's an accomplishment that I will never, be able to, that I can always say that I did that, I accomplished that. But growing a really successful bookkeeping business with a very high profit is also a really cool accomplishment. So even if you're not a CPA, you're going to have tons of success and be able to grow an awesome business, live the life of your dreams, and feel very accomplished as well. So Carla, what do you think about that? I'd love to know what your thoughts are after hearing my opinion on it. Brenda says, working on the modules. Can't wait to finish and get started working. Yes, awesome, Brenda. Let us know how it's going and feel free to book a call with us so we can show you how we can support you on accountability, getting through those modules, and then creating a game plan for you to really get started. Nikki says, have a strategy call set up for this month. Yay, can't wait to talk to you, Nikki. I'm sure this is discussed in the academy, but how big of a chunk is taxes from the income of owning a business, and does it affect taxes, or is it variable based on state? So I think what you're asking is, like, if you start your business, what are you going to have to worry about as far as tax implications go? So there's a couple of different types of taxes. There's payroll taxes, sales tax, income tax. Those are the main ones that are going to be affected by having a business. There are a few states, I believe, that do charge sales tax on services. So you may, when you charge for bookkeeping services, depending on the state you're in, you may have to charge extra for sales tax, but that's something that your client will pay and that you just have to collect and remit to the state. So no effect on you owning a business from that. It's just an extra requirement of doing business. And then the second thing is payroll taxes. So once your business gets bigger, you're going to file as an S Corp and you'll have to put yourself on payroll. This usually happens in year 2 or year 3 of starting your business, depending on how fast you grow. So by then it's a moot point because you're making so much money that all you have to do is a little tax planning to mitigate the tax liability and you're good to go. So we have tax experts in our group and tax people that you can partner with to do tax planning for yourself and for your bookkeeping business. And then the last one is income taxes. So when you have a business, especially a bookkeeping business that is incredibly profitable, you can go to Forbes.com or Google it, and bookkeeping and accounting firms are in the top 4 most profitable businesses that you can run. And so there is a lot of profit in your bookkeeping business, which profit leads to tax liability. Everybody's taxes are going to be different. So your bookkeeping business is going to flow through to your personal tax return, and all the factors that go in with your personal situation will play into how much tax you will or will not owe. So it depends on how many kids you have. It depends on if you have a spouse and what your spouse brings in as far as income. It depends on if you have rental properties or you don't. There's all sorts of things that go along with it. And there's all sorts of things that you can do to mitigate your taxes as well. So as you become a business owner, you won't be getting a tax refund anymore at some point in time, but it's definitely worth that because you're going to be bringing in so much more money throughout the year that it won't matter. Let's see. So Nikki, let me know if I answered that question to your liking. Carla said, thank you. I was on the fence and was not sure where I would find the time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love it. I just, if you're planning on going into business for yourself, it's not worth the time investment to get your CPA license at all, in my opinion. Vanessa says, how long does it take to go through the modules? Ooh, great question. So if you have about 1 to 2 hours per day, You can get through our basic bookkeeping course within about 10 to 14 days. And at the completion of that course, you will be ready to start marketing and bring on clients. So very quick. There are other programs where you can learn so much about bookkeeping, so much so that you'll be overwhelmed. And it takes 90 days, sometimes even 6 months to get through everything. But the way we have it structured is we want you to learn all of the basics enough that you understand how to walk the walk, talk the talk, have an intelligent conversation with a potential client about their bookkeeping. And then we want you to dive right into marketing, because we're all busy people here. Most of you guys are moms or dads. If you're not, you're still probably busy. And what we want you to have a return on investment very soon. We don't want you to, this isn't like college. This isn't like school. This isn't like you learn a million things and then maybe one day you get to apply it and you actually get to make some money. No, our program is set up to where you learn the basics, you start marketing, you start getting clients and collecting money, and then we support you as you are learning how to be an awesome bookkeeper and completing all of the work. So in our Bookkeeper Academy, should you decide to upgrade and join that program, we lock arms with you, we hold your hand, and we help you become an expert while you are making money and getting paid. Because our whole goal is to help you guys quit your corporate jobs as soon as possible if that's something that you want to do. Likely you could do that within 3 to 4 months if you devote 1 to 2 hours a day on marketing and growing your business. So great question. I love that question, Vanessa. Let me know. And of course, it's all self-paced as well. So if you only have 30 minutes a day or an hour a day, you can still do that. You can still have success and we'll still help you. It's just your timeline to be able to replace your job or bring in the kind of money that you want for your family may just take a couple extra months. No big deal. So whatever is your timeline, we're on it. But I'm telling you, the average, the example is 1 to 2 hours a day. You can get to about $4,000 to $6,000 per month in reoccurring revenue by 6 months. So yeah. Let's see, what else do we got? Corey, thank you for tagging Mike. Mike, let us know if you have any questions. Carla says, what are the essentials necessary to hit the ground and start building my business so I can be where you are? What a great question. That's such a great question. Always find somebody that is ahead of you, somebody that has done what you want to do and is successful about it. And that's what you need to do. Find that person, replicate what they're doing, and learn from them. So I love that you asked that question, because you all can be where I am. Every single person can be at this spot. So I love that. So the essentials necessary to hit the ground and start building my business. So I mean, obviously, I'm going to plug our academy here. So if you enroll in our academy, we will give you all these essentials tools that you need to hit the ground running, build your business, and get up to at least 6,000 of recurring revenue by your 6-month mark. And that's typically what we see students can make that. So we have all those things. We have a complete roadmap that we have you follow in the academy, and our client success team guides you through that entire journey. So you know exactly what to do. Do this next, then do this next, do this next. If you follow the process, you're going to be madly and wildly successful. So let me know, Carla, if you want more details on that. Book a call with us and we can kind of walk you through all of that as well. So some of the very beginning things that you need to do to get started is create your LLC, create your tax ID number, your bank account. We have a bunch of partnerships that you can utilize as well that we walk through in our bookkeeping course, which is our roadmap. Then, from there, learn the basics, understand the basic concepts of bookkeeping, and then start marketing. You just got to start marketing. And in our program, we teach you 3 basic ways of getting clients. And all 3 ways can lead to six figures in 12 months. You can pick one that suits your personality and your lifestyle the best, or you can do all 3. It doesn't really matter, but each method really will take you to 6 figures within 12 months. So no matter what your personality type is, no matter what your situation is, you can make one of those 3 things work and be super successful and reach your goals. So Josie says, do you offer any other specials on the academy, like the back to school offer, like Black Friday or New Year, it would give me the goal for financial arrangements. Great question. We do usually not offer any kind of specials on the academy. However, we do have a 6-month fast track to success version of our academy that we are offering right now. So Josie, I would love to just hop on a call with you and just, let you know if, that's going to work for you guys. So it would be really helpful for you to understand, what is all included, what the options are. We can even get people into our program for as little as $3,000 down. So if that's something that you want to chat about, definitely book a call with us. And I will give you guys a heads up. A lot of people that join our academy are really making between $2,500 and $4,000 per month in their jobs. So it's not designed for like only the wealthy people to get in. It's really there to help, all of us that are struggling, like, middle class, making like $40,000, $60,000 a year. Like, if you're in that category, you're definitely able to find the means to invest into the academy and learn what you need to learn to make 6 figures and kind of break past that norm of what a lot of us have grown up in that environment. So so it's definitely attainable for all walks of life. We have, stay-at-home moms in there. We have military wives that are on one income. We've got moms that have 5 kids like me that just had babies that just enrolled. We have CPAs in there that joined that have been in corporate accounting but don't really know how to translate that skill into starting their bookkeeping business. So yeah, it's really, really valuable for lots of people. So let me drop that link in here again for you guys to be able to book a call. And I'd love to just have the opportunity to talk to you about your personal situation and see what we can work out. Carlos says, would you recommend keeping the day-to-day job and do this on the side, or does it really depend on the individual? I love that question. So it does depend on the individual and what you feel comfortable about. This is definitely something we can talk about on the call as well. And we can also discuss this on our coaching calls in the academy, should you decide to join that. But what I like to tell people is, if you have the means to quit your day job and it's not going to cause, immediate financial hardship, that gives you an extra 40 to 50 hours per week that you could focus on growing your business. And, imagine if you have 1 to 2 hours per day and you can turn that into a $6,000 per month of reoccurring income by your 6-month mark. Imagine if you had 40 hours a week to work on your business. You would be able to replace that corporate job like very, very soon, potentially in the first month, maybe the second month as you get traction. And then by your 3rd month, 4th month, 5th month, you're probably going to be making like $10,000 or $12,000 a month if you want to invest that much time into growing your business. So, what I've seen in the past with students that come in is having a corporate job or having your full-time job, your day job, and growing the business, and having only about 1 to 2 hours to spend on it. It takes a little bit of time and elbow grease to get things going. And it's hard to juggle it all at the beginning. So the sooner that you can quit your job, the better, because then you have all that massive amount of time freed up to be able to focus on your business. And so what I've seen is most common is that people do not quit their job at first because they want proof. They want to prove to themselves that this is going to work. And once they get their 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th client, then they know, they're like, oh yeah, this is great. This is exactly what I wanted. This is going to work. I'm mind blown. And then they don't feel that need to hold on to that safety blanket that they think is their day job. So, but if you are in the mindset of knowing that you're going to make this work, because if you follow our process, it works. We've got thousands and thousands of people that have grown successful bookkeeping businesses. So the process works. So as long as you have confidence in yourself that you're going to follow through the steps, then, you could quit your job and just get going with the bookkeeping business. That's what I did. I did that and I didn't know what I was doing. But I did know what my goals were. So for example, when I was working at the CPA firm that I was working at, I think I was making about $3,500 per month in my take-home pay, was my take-home pay. And I was paying for a nanny for my daughter. So I don't remember what it was, but I took my take-home pay minus what I was paying for my nanny. And I realized, okay, I need, I think it was like $1,500 a month was like all I needed. So based on the limited knowledge that I had watching my boss charge his clients, I knew I only needed 3 clients to bring in that $1,500 a month that was going to put me right back in the same financial situation that I was before I quit my job and had a nanny. So I just said, screw it. I can make $1,500 a month. That's nothing. Right. Of course, at the time it didn't feel like nothing, but I made it seem that way in my head. So I quit my job. I let my nanny go and I immediately just started marketing my business. I have some pictures. Let me share these pictures. Let me find this picture of me taking my daughter networking. Let's see. I think I posted this somewhere. I don't remember. Actually, I'll look up later. I'll post a picture in here for you guys later. But I took my daughter with me networking. And I started to grow my business. I started to get clients. And, within just I think 2 months, I had those 3 clients that were paying me that. And again, at that point in time, didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a roadmap. I didn't have a mentor. You guys are going to have the exact processes that I went through that worked, that I know works, because they worked for me and they worked for thousands of other moms. But at that time, I didn't know it worked. So it did take me a couple months to do it. But once I did that, I was making more than $1,500 a month. I actually got one client that actually paid me $1,500 a month, and just one client. So that's what I did. And it made me, I guess I always follow the advice from Grant Cardone, and he says, creativity follows commitment. So I committed myself to making this business work. And I did that by quitting my job and giving myself no other options. And so I was like, okay, I got to get creative. I got to figure out how to make this work. And so sometimes when you don't have that safety net to fall on, then you're even more successful. So that was a very long-winded answer, Carla, to telling you it depends on each individual and their personal preference and their confidence level. All sorts of factors, but I hope that explanation helped you. So let me know what you're thinking would be the best for you. Nikki says, is the Academy group more involved than the Facebook group? Looking for a group of people with the heart of a teacher to hold my hand through various scenarios as they arise. Yes, absolutely. And actually, I have a 12-minute tour of the Bookkeeper Academy. It's a walkthrough of everything that we do to support you in that program. So if you guys want a copy of that, comment. Actually, let's see, what would be the easiest, quickest way for me to get that to you? If you guys just send me a private message, I will send you a copy of our tour of the Academy. And that way you can see exactly all the support that we give you in there. And it's really awesome. You not only get a dedicated private Facebook group, we have about 15 to 20 different coaches in there that answer questions. And we're always in the process of bringing more on. I've got several other people that are going to be helping out as well in there. But we've got expert coaches in there that have been through this process. They have successful bookkeeping businesses with lots of clients in various industries. So we provide support, answer all of those questions in the format of the Facebook group. And we have a new student that just joined a couple of weeks ago, and she's just already exploding. Like, she followed the process and she's getting out there and she's devoting that 1 to 2 hours a day. She already has like 5 different leads, and she's sending out her first quote for $1,500 a month. And she literally joined on September 11th. Actually, yeah, September 11th. So super exciting. But what I love about what she's doing is she's blowing up the group. She's blowing up the group with questions, because that's how you're successful in getting expert feedback, not feedback from random strangers on random Facebook groups that people don't know what they're talking about and you don't know who they are. Feedback from people that absolutely know what they're talking about in the group. And in addition to that, We have a ton of different Zoom calls. I think we're available like 15 hours per week where you can hop on Zoom calls and get help on topic specific questions like marketing, sales, quoting, things like that. And also open office hours where you can ask any question that comes to mind. And then you can even get one-on-one support when you get your first client, or if you ever need to screen share and get help on doing the actual bookkeeping work. So we have literally thought of just about everything. And we're always looking for ways to make our Bookkeeper Academy students' success easier. So we're basically what holds your hand through the whole process, Nikki. We even have a client success person that checks in with you weekly to like kind of help you move things along and just, point you to the right direction if you're needing some resource or needing some support. So, but if you book a call with us, or I guess Nikki, you already have a call scheduled, so that's awesome. So we will explain all of that too in detail on your call. Carla says, could you give an example or examples of what kind of work or clients I will be attracting and doing for them? Let's see, examples of what kind of work or clients that we try. Okay, so in our program, in our course, which again you get free if you're in the academy, in the course we have a lesson in there on the day in the life of a bookkeeper, so you can kind of understand what is going to be required for you, and what to expect the whole process to look like. And then we have a course called Learn the Basics mini course that you also get for free in the academy. That one is a walkthrough of how to do the bookkeeping for a business for the full 12 months. And it shows you from start to finish how to do everything. And that whole course is only 3 hours. It takes you to do the whole entire 12 months of bookkeeping, which is really cool. So, and it shows you exactly what kind of reports to give, and how to print those reports for your clients, how to make sure they're correct, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's great. So, a couple options, Carla. Number one, you could book a call with us. We could talk about the academy and just get you access to everything under one investment. Or you could hop on our site and you can actually like get the individual courses and go through them that way. So we'd love to hop on a call with you and chat about it though, so you can get the most bang for your buck and get help and support along the way as well. So you guys have all had really amazing questions today. I absolutely love it. What else? What else can I answer for you guys? Vanessa says, marketing myself scares me. Where do you go to market yourself? Ooh, I love that. Yeah. Most people feel like marketing is like a super scary word. But what I love about how we teach is that no matter what personality type you have, there is at least one way that you're going to feel super comfortable with marketing. So, and the other cool thing too is like what I always see from students, especially when they get to the point where they're about to like graduate the academy, with a like super successful business, they always say like the number one thing that they love that they got out of the whole experience is that their level of confidence in themselves has gone up tremendously, and they've become like a whole new version of themselves, which is, I always call it the side effect of being in the Bookkeeper Academy, which I love it because it's great because when you learn to be more confident and you learn to do things that scare you, you're emulating that for your kids, and that's what they have to do to be successful in life as well. Do things that scare them, and get out there and try new things and get out of your comfort zone. And I think sometimes, like, especially as moms, we kind of get back in this bubble when we have kids and it's hard to break out of that. And the Bookkeeper Academy really gives you the opportunity and the chance to do that again in a safe space and a safe environment. So, but let me break marketing down a little bit. First of all, marketing, the word is a fancy word for basically saying building relationships and letting people know what you do. So at the very base of it, it's like when you meet people or anybody that you already know. So I'll give an example on Facebook. You have 1,000 friends on Facebook, let's say. Marketing would just simply be, does every single one of your Facebook friends know that you own a bookkeeping business? I mean, that's one form of marketing right there, because if people know you, then Grant always says this, Grant Cardone says, if they don't know you, they can't flow you. So if they know you, they can flow you. They can like refer people to you, they can sign up. So as long as people know that you have a bookkeeping business, that is the first form of marketing. And then it's just building relationships, building rapport, offering to help people, things like that, not for free, obviously, but, building relationships with people is really valid. So we have three main ways that we teach people to get clients with our marketing methods. The first one is utilizing social media. So I encourage you guys to turn your Facebook page into a business tool. A lot of people use it for fun. They use it to connect with their family and friends. They think of it as a personal device, but if you can really shift your mindset around that and use it as a business tool, it can really bring in a lot of money. So for example, we had a student that started her business last year in January of 2021, and she had an in-home daycare, and she had like her 3 kids at home, and she was babysitting 2 or 3 other kids as well. So she was basically stuck at home from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. She couldn't do any marketing any other way except for utilizing Facebook and utilizing other social media, whichever one you're most comfortable with. And she grew her business to, I believe she exceeded $100,000 in her first 12 months. She was able to close down her in-home daycare in April, and only 4 months after really starting the academy and starting to market. So that's one method. So even if you're stuck at home, even if you don't want to get out there and meet anybody in person, you can still grow this business that way. The second way is connecting with tax professionals. So we have some templates in our course where you can, we show you how to connect, email, and arrange a partnership with these tax experts. And this will get you, if you can do 2 or 3 tax partnerships, you will get a feeder of clients for a very long time. It can really help you grow your business that way. And that can all be done over email and phone calls, And then the third way is networking. This can be done in person or virtually or hybrid of both. And we actually have a program that we're getting ready to launch. So watch your emails. If you're not on our email list, pop over to our website and register for our email list. So you can see that. I'm also watching this group, but we're getting ready to release a new program that shows you how to make 6 figures by simply only using networking. And this course is going to come with 2 free small group coaching sessions with me. So watch out for that as well. But Vanessa, does that make you feel a little bit better about marketing? And of course, like what we see a lot of times is once people get into our Bookkeeper Academy and they know they have backup, they have somebody that's got their back, that's going to help them no matter what happens, they feel a lot less intimidated by marketing. When you go it alone, it can be every little aspect of running your business can be overwhelming and stressful. But that's why we feel a little bit better. So, but yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to feel fear in this process. It's totally normal. Everybody feels that way. I still feel fear. Like last week, I flew out to San Diego to go to a mastermind with Grant Cardone. He invited only like 100 influencers, and somehow I made the list. And I felt really scared and nervous to go out there and be in a room where I was the person that made the least amount of money, and everybody else in that room had businesses that were $20 million, $30 million, $45 million, $100 million. And, that was scary. It was scary to like network with those types of people and feel like inadequate. So that feeling doesn't go away no matter what level you're at. You just get better at learning how to deal with it and ignore it. So that's my main advice to you. It's okay if it scares you. It's normal. Most people feel fear around it, but you just have to do it anyway. You just have to do it anyway. And that's what's great about the Academy is like, we have these exact steps. So we just say, just do this, just do this, just do this, and then this, and then this. And, that way, even though you feel fear, you're really checking it off your list, checking that off your list. And it makes it a little bit easier to get through doing it that way than worrying about the emotions of it. You're worrying about more of the like, tactical checking off your to-do list. This is the next step of my plan. it kind of helps you keep those emotions separated. But yeah, the fear doesn't really ever go away. I mean, it's just similar to like if you were up for a promotion at your job and you had to go in and interview for it, or you had to give a big presentation in order to get a promotion of some sort, you'd feel fear around that as well too. So let me know, Vanessa, if you have like specific questions that you have. And as I was drinking my coffee actually it's my tea, but I realized that this mug right here, it says Big Girl Pants. Let's see, can you guys see it? And this was a podcast I got invited to go on. And I actually had to drive to Dallas and meet this girl in person. And so I was super nervous about it because I'm like, oh my gosh, like she only does in-person podcasts. I'm like, this is like a big deal. Like I'm super nervous about this. Normally I would do like Zoom interviews, not a big deal. I can hide behind my computer, and as soon as it's over, I can like collapse on the floor and like hyperventilate. But this one, I actually had to drive all the way to Dallas, and then I had to meet her in person. So I took my whole family with me, and we stayed at the Jellystone Park in a cabin, which if you guys have never heard of that, is the coolest place ever to take your kids. But we went there, we stayed there, and I had to get up in the morning and leave my husband and 3 of my kids that went with us. I had to leave them there, and I had to drive 40 minutes to go meet this lady at this random house. She had a podcast studio in her house, and wasn't familiar with the area or anything like that. And then I got there, had no idea what to expect. She seemed super professional, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just this mom. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And so like the whole time my heart was beating like a million miles an hour, but I ended up sitting down there and doing the podcast, and the podcast was awesome. It was so fun. I've honestly got some clients from that podcast interview as well. And it's helped bring more moms into our group. And I've actually become really good friends with that podcast lady. So there's a lot of times when your brain tries to trick you and will make you think that, what you're doing is scary. But if you make yourself do it, you realize it really wasn't scary, and it was really fine. And on this note too, I just saw that, let me see if I can find this picture. In our academy, Casey just did this fantastic, let's see if I can share my screen. She did this fantastic mindset. How do I save this? There we go. She does this fantastic mindset coaching call. So I want to share my screen so you guys can see the post that she did afterwards. So here is the post. I took a screenshot of this and I shared it with my team today. And I was like, this was awesome. This was badass. I love it. So basically what Casey did is during our mindset call, she said she wanted everyone to do an example of changing the word from but to and. So for example, I want to grow my business, but I'm not good at talking to people. So let's change the but I'm not good at talking to people to and. So I want to grow my business, and I am learning new ways to improve my sales conversations with others. So she says a simple trick can help you get out of a scarcity mindset and into abundance or the possibility mindset. So there's a ton of examples that they did on the call. And then she created a big document of examples that you could take from and that you could turn those around and, utilize them in your personal business. So this is the kind of stuff that we help with in the academy. We really help our students with all aspects of, growing their business. So just so you know, like these feelings are just very normal and people experience them no matter, what level of life, business, whatever that they're at. So you're right there with everybody else. I'm super excited. You have a call set up this month. Also, just so you guys know, for anybody that has a call set up this month, our schedule was like really booked up. And so some of you have calls that are like 1 to 2 weeks out, but we do have availability this week. So if you go into your calendar invite, you can click the reschedule link and you can pick an earlier time. So feel free to play around with that today if you'd like as well, for those of you that have upcoming calls already. Carla says scheduled her call for Monday. Awesome. Yay. I'm super excited about that. Really looking forward to watching you guys on this journey. Yeah, Vanessa, if you can't find your reschedule link in your calendar, let me know, or just use the link to book another call and we can cancel the old one for you. So I'm really excited. You guys are really on the path for some great things and leading some really cool lives and getting to reach, your goals and your journey and whatever it is that you value the most for your family and your kids. This is really the best path to get there. I'm super excited. Carlos, how do you feel about acquiring certifications like QuickBooks, et cetera, as is covered in the Academy? Yeah, absolutely. We talk about this stuff a lot in the Academy. If you do want to go after the QuickBooks Pro Advisor certification, you are definitely welcome to do that. So you have that to display on your website or whatnot. I'd say about 50% of the people in our Academy do the certification, while 50% of them don't. There is no correlation between your success on whether you do it or not. So it's not going to matter. As far as like having a successful business, the QuickBooks Pro Advisor certification will not make or break you. However, if you do decide to do it, there are a couple of tips and perks that I'd like to share with you. Number one, if you do the QuickBooks Pro Advisor certification and you finish setting up your QuickBooks Pro Advisor profile, you could potentially get client leads from that listing. So I have seen a couple of students get leads here and there. It's definitely not the primary source that anybody could get clients from, but it definitely could get you a client or two. And if you do decide to do the certification, keep in mind your goal is to get through the test so you can just pass it and have the certification that you can put on your website. Do not worry about learning and comprehending everything that is going through that test, because it is, number one, designed to trick you. And number two, I would say a good 80% of what you're going to learn in that test is not going to be applicable to anything that you're going to do in your bookkeeping business. So don't give it any merit on your skill level or anything like that. So should you decide to do it, focus on getting through it, passing it, not comprehending it, not memorizing everything, and having that certification. But it is not a make or break for you to have a successful business. Devin said, what are your thoughts on other accounting software such as Xero? So if you are in the UK, Xero for our UK students, and we have a UK coach, but if you're in the UK, Xero is more commonly used there. I believe in Canada and the US, QuickBooks Online is more commonly used. So we do have some students or some coaches in our academy that will help you with Xero if you do want to use it. However, we don't primarily support that. We do support that for our UK students. So, but if you really want to streamline your efforts and make that $100 an hour or more, we do prefer that you use QuickBooks Online so we can really help you get super efficient with your processes. But you're definitely welcome to use that program. I've seen students over the years dabble in it and use Wave and a couple other programs, and they all come back around and say, yep, Tiffany, you were right. It took me so much extra time to help this client because they wanted to use Wave or Xero when all my other QBO clients took me like a fraction of the time, and it wasn't worth having those clients because you're taking away from the profitability that you could have had you would have had maybe 5 more clients on QBO versus the 1 on Xero. So hope that makes sense. But yeah, you're definitely welcome to use other software. I just recommend just picking one that you want to use and sticking with that and becoming an expert, because that's how you become efficient. That's how you make $100 an hour or more in your bookkeeping business. Do you have a team or students based in the UK? Yes, we do. We have a wonderful UK coach. Her name is Lisa. She actually had a bookkeeping business back in the day, and then she transitioned into becoming a life coach. So she would be your designated client success coach. In the academy, of course, there are so many resources that are applicable to US, UK, Canada, no matter where you live. The mindset, the marketing, the sales, the quoting, all of that is the same. The only thing that is great about the UK coach is there's some technical like back office setup stuff and things like that is helpful to have the UK specific, and then actually doing some of the bookkeeping work specific to the UK, because there's a couple of nuances that you'll need help with in the UK that's different from US that our coach will step in and help you with. So great questions. Yep. And she is super sweet and awesome, and you would love her. So please book a call with us if you would like to chat about that as well. And I think I'm going to wrap up today. So if you guys want to join me again next week, next Tuesday, I am here at 11 a.m. Central Time. Again, here's the link to book a call with us, and I will see you all soon. All right. Cheers. Have a good day, everybody.